Hello ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to a Minecraft Dungeons tutorial. I'm going to show you everything you need to know about the Soggy Cave. It's a secret level that you can unlock, but there are some big problems with this currently on Xbox and the PlayStation 4. I don't know if it's the same on the PC versions, where lots of times it's not spawning. So if you're going through the Soggy Swamp, which you have to do to unlock the Soggy Cave, you may find you have to do it up to 10 or 15 times. I've seen some people reporting. Myself, it took me at least 8 times before it spawned. As ever, for the best in new game guides, tutorials, particularly for survival, but today I'm really enjoying Minecraft Dungeons. Make sure you subscribe and you've got the notification bell ticked, and go ahead and like the video, it helps the channel out. So it's well worth persevering with this because the Soggy Cave itself has loads of good loot and there is a little bit of a puzzle in it. So once I show you guys how to complete the puzzle, you'll be able to go back here time again and get some really high end loot. But first off, we've got to find it. So, as I said, people have been having real problems. I had to try a bunch of times before I finally found the entrance. Obviously, Minecraft Dungeons is kind of procedurally generated or tile generated. So you'll always find the same bosses, the same areas, but sometimes they swap in and out certain dungeons that you can find. That's why it's a different experience every time you play it. It's not exactly procedurally generated, but it's the closest thing. They're calling it tiles. This is exactly the situation on Archhaven, particularly on console. I must have spent about 20 goes today trying to unlock it and I couldn't do it. Anywho, the Soggy Swamp. Go through the Soggy Swamp, pretty much get to the point where you unlock the first part. I've never found the entrance to the Soggy Cave until I've done this first bit where I've got to destroy the bruise. Once that's done, go ahead and enter the first cave that you have to actually go through to progress to get through to the end of the level. Clear that out. Now there's some reports that you have to be able to find the Soggy Cave only once you completed the game once, and then you can do it on any default mode. It doesn't have to be the adventurer mode to find it, and that was kind of true. I started out this game mode and it wasn't on the adventure mode. After like the 10th or 15th time, I was kind of just running past all the enemies because I just wanted to get to it pretty quickly, although it wasn't the easiest mode. Anyway, when you get to these ruins, you often find, you can see I've got the map up completely, I'm going all the way round. So you want to be going from the right hand side to the left. That's when you know you're on the right tip. Instead of going more north though, where the marker's going to tell us to go, we're actually going to carry on going south. And if it's spawning, then you'll know what I'm talking about once we get past this encampment. So you've got to be coming to the left hand side of that camp for the Soggy Cave to spawn. I've never seen the Soggy Cave spawn when it's the other way round, when I'm going past the other direction. And this is where you need to go now. You can see the map markers saying go north, but there's a path here that I'm going to follow instead. It is really strange, and it's a bit rubbish that some of these secret levels are randomly generated. I think they need to maybe fix it and add it. Particularly on Xbox as well and PS4, you don't actually get to see in the bottom left that there are secrets still to be found. Whereas on PC, it does show how many secrets are left on the map. So you can quickly check on PC. Hopefully they'll bring that to Xbox and PlayStation. Anywho, I found the entrance. This is it. This is where you're going to pick up the scroll for the Soggy Cave. You've obviously got to fight off some enemies. Then simply activate the pressure plate or switch and just gather up any other extra loot you haven't found. Once you've done that, you can see, keep going north, and you should see it's just hiding in the dark up this passageway, and there is the map marker, or the new map for the Soggy Cave. As you exit out, you'll see a little plate to your left, and this is what's going to open the door, and this is a taste of what's to come. That's the puzzle that you're going to need to solve, and it gets a little bit harder. There's actually variations of the puzzle as well, so I'm going to show you that once we get into the cave itself, and you can see where we've come out. Not too far from where we entered, and you can go ahead and complete the game or the mission or level, or you can just exit out straight away. And just to hammer home, when, like I'm showing you right now, you come out of the first cave that you have to go through the first dungeon and you're back into the swamp, if you're going to the right hand side of the screen following the path that way, that pretty much means you're not going to have the entrance to find the map for the Soggy Cave. So if you really are just trying to unlock the Soggy Cave and you don't care about any loot or finishing the boss off, if it has that going from the left to the right hand side, you might as well quit out and start the level again straight away. I have got a video also showing you guys up already how to get to the mushroom level, which you can access and get a bunch of XP and take on the mushroom monstrosity, which is a pretty fun level. There's loads of mushroom cows to kill and you get bunches of levels, but one of the rooms is right here that you need to access that level. So it's all unlocked. You can see now the Soggy Cave is there, and we can go ahead and try it out. And you can do it on any difficulty. It doesn't have to be adventure mode. It can be any mode you want. I'm still not certain, that's for sure, but that's what I've seen a lot of people comment on and saying that you need to complete the game at least once before you can access the Soggy Cave. Now, as you go through this small dungeon-like area, in fact there's not much outside at all until you get to the cave entrance, just a few enemies, you'll actually find this level is pretty easy. This is why it's a good place to maybe increase the level, go for difficulties way above what you've got, and you will be able to get some decent loot. There's always a diamond chest inside this cave as well. The swamp area really isn't that long, and then you've got the ruins where you can go inside, and this is where you're going to be fighting a few more mobs and then performing the puzzles. Like I said, there's only a few enemies here or there, so you don't have to worry too much. Just make sure you've got something with range, and I'm using my soul quiver, which I absolutely love. I think it's one of the best weapons in the game, or the best artifacts I should say. You can see the area above us, and it's going to open up 4 dungeon doors. 2 of these dungeons connect with each other, so when you're going through one entrance, you will come out the other entrance once you've solved the puzzle. Again, it seems a bit bugged, but there's actually 4 entrances and then another one on the right, so 5. That's why I'm saying there's 2 entrances linked, and then that single one in the corner, that's where you're going to get the diamond chest. So obviously you go through the door and you find there's a great big barrier in your way, so go to the next dungeon entrance. Let's take the one up the stairs now, and this is where we're going to have a first puzzle after we've taken out some mobs. Oh no, there's a barrier. I wonder what's going to happen now. Yeah, you guessed it. Take out the mobs and then it should open up. There's quite a few challenging ones here as well, particularly if you are doing it on higher level, but it's definitely worth farming this as you will get lots of loot. Now it's open, let's go and solve the first puzzle. So pretty much it's like a redstone power. You've got a few switches. Depending on what door you went in first, you'll either come across the one that's got 4 pressure plates, so you may want to go back and find the dungeon that's got 2 pressure plates first and then come back to that one afterwards. The pressure plates are connected to the pistons. The left pressure plate moves the middle piston, and the right pressure plate doesn't move anything until you've pressed the left one at least once, so that the pressure plate makes the piston move up. Now every time I press the right pressure plate, it's moving the pistons in sequence from right to left. The left pressure plate still only moves that middle one, that's all it ever does. So what you have to do is make sure you're in the position where the middle piston is low when you've got it like this, and then all you simply have to do is press the left pressure plate and it makes the connection so the redstone powers it up and the doorway will open. I'm not going to lie, that can be a little bit confusing, especially with just the 2 pressure plates and the 3-4 pistons there. It gets even worse when, like I said, you do it and you come in and there's 4 pistons or 4 pressure plates to press. But here is the diamond chest plate anyway, and you can see I got the Fangs of Frost. I got a really unique item in the next room before you exit out in a diamond chest, and you always get a diamond chest in this dungeon, hence why it's such a good way to go and farm some high level gear. Once you come out, you'll be really close to the exit. You can just drop off this cliff and then exit out the level. Now let's go through the one with the 4 pressure plates and 5 pistons. You can see that pressing the left pressure plate moves it along in sequence, and there's usually 2 squares or 2 pistons that are lower. You need to get it so that one of the pistons that is lower is on that gap that's in the middle next to this pressure plate. You can see that moving the second pressure plate just moves that second piston and the 4th piston up and down. The next pressure plate just moves the second piston and the 3rd and 4th piston up and down. And then the 5th piston pretty much moves it or cycles through it just like the 1st piston does. What you need to do is make sure that you're using this pressure plate, the 3rd pressure plate, so that the 2nd piston is raised and the 3rd and 4th piston is lower. Then you go to the 4th pressure plate and press it until you cycle through, so it looks exactly like this. So pretty much all 3 pistons in the middle are lower. Then return to the 3rd pressure plate, click it and it will give power to it. I know that might not be the best explanation, so just follow what I do more or less and you'll get the idea, you'll get to grips with it. It's much easier when you actually do it yourself. There are a couple ways you can do it, hence why you just need to kind of learn the system of how to do it, because you can actually move the pressure plates in a different way and you can get the same result. You can see here I'm activating the last one, and then I'm activating the one next to it, and then I activated the second one and I've got the power supply. So you're kind of just cycling through so that you're just getting that power to come through in one bar. The rule is that the outside pressure plates, number 1 and number 4, are always going to move the pistons in sequence, so next to it, and the middle ones are going to move a combination of different pistons, so it'll move 2 or 3 pistons at the same time. So you've just got to use the left and the right pressure plates to make sure that it's kind of even. If anyone else has a better way of explaining it, leave it in the comment section down below. I'm actually pretty pleased with that puzzle. I wish Minecraft Dungeons had a lot more stuff like that in it, as it does get just a bit repetitive just going through and killing enemies. I love finding loads of secrets. There are 5 secret levels in total. You've got 4 normal levels that you can access either by completing the game and then finding the maps in certain dungeons, and then you've got the 5th level, which you can only get when you've completed the full game and found all 10 runes. I've got videos coming for every single one of them levels explaining how to get through it, if there's any puzzles, and what type of loot you can get. Got a way to improve on the guide that I've just done? Then leave the comments down below, and I'll see you ratbags for another Minecraft Dungeons video very soon.